Hello and welcome to Getting Started with MoveIt. In this tutorial we will look at integrating MoveIt with your own character. This is a basic blueprint project. It just has a few inputs set up. It's got Murdoch from Paragon and it's got motion capture from Mocap Online. So to get started we're just going to go Edit, Plugins and double check that MoveIt is enabled. Now we will go to View Options, Show Plugin Content. If MoveIt doesn't show up here, it means it's an engine plugin and we need to also enable Show Engine Content. Now we can scroll down and we'll find MoveIt. So we want to make a character that inherits from MI character. So we go MI character. And normally this is the correct thing to do, but for the tutorial, so we can see things working, we're going to use a character demo instead. So I'm just going to copy it out. Now we want to go into our character and open up a skeleton. And we're going to add some sockets to this character. So find the thigh, the left thigh, go right click, add virtual bone, left calf. And this is the correct name, do not call it anything other than that, no matter what these bones are called, because it will give you a lot of extra work in setting up the animation graph. Same for the right thigh, add virtual bone, calf R. And then we look for the upper arm. Same thing with the lower arm, upper arm to lower arm. And then we find the head, add socket, we name it I_level. We want to position this where the character's eyes are roughly. And it's used for the procedural look at node. And then we come and we take the bull, we go add socket, footstep R, and we position this where we want the footsteps to be detected from and where we want the particles to spawn from. Footstep L, roughly same position on the other side, just going to eyeball it. Now it's very important that this chain of bones exists. If it doesn't exist and it's not exact, then you will run into a lot of issues with the foot IK and the weapon hand placement. So now we want to come to Options, Show Retargeting Options. I'm going to select them all. I'm going to right click, recursively set translation, Retargeting Skeleton. So this changes to skeleton from animation. If we take the IK joints, we change those back to animation. The root and the pelvis, they also come back to animation. Now we open the Retarget Manager and under Select Rig, choose S-Rig MoveIt Mannequin. And you want to make sure that all of these bones correspond to the correct bone. If you have a custom skeleton, this is very important. And if you get strange results from retargeting the animations, it is likely something incorrect that is set up here. If you have an Unreal Engine 4 skeleton, then it will be correct without you having to change anything. So now we're ready to do the actual retargeting. We will make him a new folder, just call it Anim. We can right click again, retarget Anim Blueprints, duplicate Anim Blueprints and retarget. And now Murdoch is available. But you'll see that our character is in a T pose and Murdoch is in an A pose. So what we actually want to do is cancel, come to our skeleton, to the MoveIt skeleton, and if you click View Pose, you'll see his retarget pose is actually a T pose. So we can modify, reset. And now he's also in an A pose. So when we go back to the blueprint, and we go retarget, they're now both in an A pose. So change the folder to the new one we just made and select retarget. We can take one of the animations and just have a look at it, see how it looks. So his gun's clipping his leg His legs are a little close together, and that's mostly just because Murdoch's a pretty bulky guy. There are ways to fix that, but that's for another tutorial. And these animations are not designed for the pouch, nor for the weapon. Now that we've finished the retargeting, we can open up our character and change the mesh to Murdoch or your custom character. And there he is. So if we go play, we need a game mode. And now when we play, we have our character. Of course he has animations that don't work with the gun, but if we scroll up, you'll see it's trying to switch to the weapon on the ground there, but at least he's holding his gun. And that's because we're using the feature demo that actually uses these guns, but we haven't set up the sockets for them. Now there's two more steps we need to do. The first thing is to basically retarget a physics asset, and it's very easy to do. So we're just going to copy this, and we're just going to put Murdoch's name on it so we can find it. Then we just go preview scene settings and change this to Murdoch. And there we go. Now we can save, and we have a Murdoch physics asset that matches MoveIt. So if we come in here, we can open his mesh and assign our new physics asset. And that's done. Which means we will now be able to use Ragdoll. But you'll notice when we get up, there's no animation playing. And that's because they're only assigned to the character so they don't get retargeted. So to do that, let's come down to MoveIt content, go anims, type Ragdoll. There's three here. This is an optional get up from front animation, from back animation, and it would suit a flexible woman more than it would suit Murdoch. There we go, he now has the ragdoll animations, and we can open up the character, just type ragdoll once again, and we can assign the retargeted animations. So now when we ragdoll, he will play the correct animation and get up again. So now, if your character uses Unreal Engine's naming scheme for its skeleton, such as Murdoch, then you are pretty much done with this tutorial. But if you have different names, you're going to need to come to the animation blueprint, to the animation graph, and unfortunately you will need to go through every single node that references a bone and change it to whatever you use, such as left wrist instead of hand R. If you get any of these wrong, then it will be referencing a bone that doesn't exist, and the node will fail to evaluate and you will have glitchy animations. And that concludes the tutorial. There will be a part 2 where we go through the animation graph and replace the animations. Thank you for watching.